work and do that dance that'll make your whole body hurt. Playing Bombardier, Common Clear. This that time of the year for everybody to be boisterous. Rock with Snoop Dogg and rejoice to this.
As we go on, we go on.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Palmer's Cardinals going up against Bridgewater's Vikings.
EA Sports coverage takes us to one of the newest jewels on the NFL landscape, U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line with the Arizona Cardinals. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. 6 yards to go here on second down. They go to Johnson again. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA and playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. Fresh set of downs here. Johnson on the counter. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
On third down, Palmer. And that is incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. On fourth down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. Here's Sherrill's. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Now the Georgia Southern man, this is Jerick McKinnon. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Had a nice move, but couldn't free much space. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. Going deep for Diggs. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And now it's third down. Diggs unable to reel that in, and he might find things a little difficult in this one. He's likely going to see Patrick Peterson on every snap as they look to try to shut him down.
It's almost unfair to look at that size, speed, combination that he has.
And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 29. The young connection hook up there. Bridgewater to Diggs. 55 yards. Now McKinnon. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Let's go. Blue 58. Blue 58.
Bridgewater now on second down. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And he puts it through. Forbath out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here comes Arizona's offense back onto the field. Earlier we were talking about the quarterback position, a big decision coming up on that spot. But, you know, Cardinal fans and fantasy football owners, I guess, so disappointed when David Johnson went down in the opener with a fractured wrist, wound up missing the season. That kind of got overlooked in 2017.
It certainly did, and it was the first big domino in why the Cardinals didn't really make a run at the playoffs this year, because of David Johnson's ability to run it and catch it and initiate all the offense that the Cardinals wanted to run. The defense.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Linval Joseph coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. On second down, Palmer. Underneath for Johnson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my day, missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
So the following the penalty, it's Johnson. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football, and they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And the D-line pinching together, must be expecting the run. The first down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. Palmer gives to Johnson. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Here we go, the first carry for the former Viking Peterson. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. This is Logan, and he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Palmer in the offense staying put. They're going to try for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Palmer. And that is going to be incomplete. Bruce Arians takes a shot there, but his guys come up empty. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Vikings coming out here again to take over on offense. And this is a crew, obviously, that was so close, Charles, to becoming the first ever team to play a Super Bowl in their own stadium. So disappointment in that last game against Philly, but overall, I think they've got to be pretty pleased with the season.
They have to be, because they put it all together. Won the NFC North. How about that win over the Saints in the divisional round? I mean, I don't know that they'll ever top that in terms of getting something done late in the game, especially with what was on the line. They do get Dalvin Cook back at running back next year. I think they'd still like to have a little more speed at wide receiver. But all in all, this team comes back pretty well intact and will be a force for a while.
Yeah, that defense is pretty set.
Very much so. I mean, try and move the ball against their front and then try and throw it against Xavier Rhodes. Good luck to you.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. 3rd down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Bridgewater to throw it. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater. Chandler Jones coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down.
Let's go.
On 4th down, they do snap it to Bridgewater. Flush to his right. And the pressure gets to him again. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Cardinals will now take over with excellent field position. I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. They totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt and all the people who participated. And Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Benjamin Watson of the Ravens, both tight ends, also nominated and finalists for the most prestigious award as determined by the NFL, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. Now Palmer to throw. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl. But 3rd MVP this past season, and what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
You can go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999, where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. $11 yards on the pickup, and that leads to a Minnesota first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Here again is McKinnon, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
McKinnon. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Here's McKinnon, and he'll get this only up to about the 35. And now the Cardinals going to use another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And they'll try for it here on 4th. Bridgewater and company stay out there. They're indeed going for it. Bridgewater. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. As you and I were talking about off air, it was just a fluid game, not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the... And that'll be caught by Gresham for a Cardinal touchdown. Jermaine Gresham as the first half is winding down. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis. Some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. They run once more with McKinnon. Oh, he's got some breathing room. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Well, last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, they had the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
does it get there? Hits the crossbar. Never mind, Larry. Forget your halftime report. Apparently, we are set for the third quarter of action already. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Now McKinnon to start the drive. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Marcus Golden. From that outside linebacker spot, he's able to get in there for a loss of 9. 3rd and long now after the sack. And we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Josh Morrow. He's the one to get him this time. And back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone.